Hey y'all. Y'all see me. Yeah. Hey guys. I'm trying to I'm trying to go live. Should I go live over here? Hey y'all, come on in, come on in, come on in. Come on in, y'all. Come on in, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Please click like as you come in. Let me get this set up really quickly. Let me get this set up really quickly. Hey y'all. Come on in, y'all. I am live here on. This is my first time clicking live on TikTok actually. I just clicked live on TikTok to see how they run their lives over here. I'm about to go live on Facebook too. And I will also be here, of course, on YouTube. But come on in, guys. Click like as you come in. Okay. Click like as you come in. I missed y'all. But y'all know I have some great news. I have some great news. We're going to talk tonight. Come on in. Please share this, guys. Please give this a quick share. If you can, give this a quick share so that I can get people in here. Let me set up Facebook really quickly. Let me set up Facebook really quickly. Let me set up Facebook. Somebody's on here. Holly Grove. Hey, Holly Grove. Come on in, guys. I am here setting up Facebook really quickly so that I can go live on multiple platforms. I just literally clicked on TikTok just to see how the live looks. You know, I don't know if I'm going to foresee myself going live on TikTok often. But in case I do, okay, please click like in case I do. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Come on in, click like, click like, click like, keep clicking like. Let's see, where's my, there we go. There we go. Facebook. I haven't been live so long on Facebook. It is ridiculous. I may hang TikTok up and go live on, I don't even know where the light button at on here. I'm about to log in on another platform. Okay. All right. I'm about to click. I literally just clicked on TikTok just to see. Um, just to see. um, what is all this extra stuff on Facebook right now? I just want to go live. I wonder this extra stuff. Somebody just invited me to go live with them on TikTok. No, I cannot do. Okay. I cannot. I cannot do. All right. Don't look like I can go live from Facebook either. All right, I'm about to go TikTok. I need this phone because I'm gonna have to go live on Facebook from here. Come on in, come on in. Keep clicking like as you come in. Keep clicking like as you come in. We got a lot to cover tonight. I'm going to tell you some history that you've never heard before and tie a piece of our story together here. Um, some very interesting. I've had a very interesting week. I'll say that. Okay, so I'm going to go live from this phone. That means I got 2 more minutes and then I'm gonna start talking. Come on in, yeah. Come on in. 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 Hey y'all. I'm a little stuffy here. I'm a little stuffy here. Some. All right. Come on in. Come on in. Oh, one thumbs down. All right. That's cool. One thumbs down. That's cool. It just ain't gonna. It's all right. It's all right. Focus on the positive, Janice. The positive. All right. This was so close up on me. Golly. All right. All right. All right. All right. I think 1,000 people just left here. Hey, y'all. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So, we got to talk tonight. We got to talk tonight. Share this with a relative. Share this with a relative, if you will. First off, thank you all for joining me tonight. I'm live here on YouTube and Facebook. I was going to go live on IG, but I need to use one of these devices to read from, so I probably won't be able to go live on IG right now. So, TikTok, not TikTok. I ended the live on TikTok, and now I'm on Facebook and YouTube. So, I'm sure you all read tonight's broadcast. Hey Candace. Hey Angela. Hey all y'all. Hey Macadon. Hey Summer B. Yes, I'm live. Hey Fresh Face. We in here. Hey Cuz. Hey Chief Basketball. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm a little stuffy. That pollen hit me dead in my face. Okay. That pollen ain't nobody's friend. Hey Dee Dee. Hey Love. Hey Roy PhD. Hey Samika. Hey Swift Arrow. Hey Chief Jonesy. I don't know who that is you put in there, but um hey CO. Hey Devon. Hey Kahi. Hey Will Roble. Yes, we're well. I need to talk to you too. Hey Yanika. Hey Turner Beauty. Hey X Dus. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Thank you for joining tonight. Hey Boss Man. Hey Janelle. Hey KK. Hey Sister Moon. Oh, I love you, KK. I know you have my number. You can call me anytime, babe. Hey, Midwest Copper King. Hey, Classy Pearl. Hey, y'all. Thank y'all for joining. Hey, Rosalind. Hey, The Ethers. Hey, 11-8. Hey, y'all. Hey, Unc. Hey, Edon. Hey, Anthony Smith. Hey, y'all. Please share the live so we can get this started tonight. I might do a double header tonight. I'm gonna talk history, Negro history, and money on this live, and I think I may do another live. I just got a super chat from somebody. Thank you, just popped on my screen. Um, thank you so much, Charlene. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you, Charlene. Um, okay, how did I just do that? I just added you to the screen some kind of way. How did I just do that? Wait. I think I just found something. Come on in, y'all. Okay, so let's get started. Um, I've had a very busy week. I first of all, if you have ordered Hello Plants, your products are so on the way. Like very luscious, great products are on the way to you. Some of your stuff is late, some of your stuff is on time. But for those of you who products are late, y'all know I always send extra. So please bear with me here. Please bear with me here. I want to turn y'all attention to something really quickly. Let me send myself this on this phone. Hold on, y'all. Not you. I probably just blacked out right quick on on Facebook because I have to get something off this phone really quick. I'm gonna come right back on, okay? Y'all probably can't see my face. You probably can. I'm not totally sure, but give me 1 second. Um, I wanted to read something to you all that's on one of these phones. Let's see. Oh, here we go. It is HR bill. Wait, got a few bills here. Y'all, I cannot think. I thought that was it. That's another bill that I want to read to y'all. It's two bills. Two bills. All right. Well, I can't find it. I can't find it. I can't find it. I can't find it. Oh, it ended the live. I wasn't trying to end the live. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to do too much at one time. Come back on Facebook. Come back on the live Facebook. Come back on the live Facebook. I just lost Facebook. I just lost Facebook. Car. Just lost Facebook. Anyway, so this is what I want to say. I'm gonna have to read it off my computer. Your Hello Plants orders. Your Night Fire candle has some very important herbs in it. At the bottom is cypress. There's a crystal in every candle. Okay? It's a ritual candle. You have your ginseng in here. You have your tulsi in here. All right? So important about ginseng and herbs like cypress. Even our new aphrodisiac body oil. Sounds like an advertisement, but I'm about to read something to you from a government website. This product also has cypress in it. Let me read something to you. Will everybody from Alabama please come close? Will everybody from Alabama please come close? I got something to read to you. Here in Congress right now, Bill HR 6148. Bill HR 6148. Everybody come back in from Facebook. Y'all come back in. This tonight lesson is about you being gold heirs. Bill HR 6148 reads, to provide for the establishment of the Alabama Underwater Forest National Marine Sanctuary and for other purposes. The House of Representatives, December 7, 2021. Mr. Carl, Mr. of Alabama, Mr. Brooks, Mr. Whitman, Mr. Graves introduced the following bill, which will be referred to the Committee for Natural Resources. Thank you for the super chat, Chief Basketball. I see you. The bill will provide for the establishment of the Alabama Underwater Forest National Marine Sanctuary and for other purposes, to be enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress Assembly. The short title, this act may be cited as the Alabama Underwater Forest Alabama Stand-Up National Marine Sanctuary and Protection Act. Findings. Congress finds the following. An ancient cypress forest dating back to 70,000 years has been exposed off the Alabama coastline. The cypress trees, which were uncovered by a massive wave associated with Hurricane Ivan, are still rooted in the mud they were growing in at least 50,000 years ago. The underwater forest site is unique on a global scale. What a way to open a show. It's the only known site where trees between 50,000 to 70,000 years old have been preserved intact with the ecosystem they were growing in. Exploration of the site continues to yield invaluable scientific insight in a variety of fields though scientists have just begun to study this ancient forest. Let me reread. The underwater forest site is unique on a global scale. The only known site where trees between 50,000 and 70,000 years old have been preserved intact with the ecosystem they were growing in. This is why this is important. They told you something about a motherland, see. But you can always look at the trees and the plants and tell what's what. Preserved intact in the ecosystem they were growing in. Here in America, we have these ancient sites like Alabama, where you have the oldest trees that's growing naturally in the ecosystem, preserved naturally in the ecosystem that it was initially growing in. That means nobody took trees from Africa and came and planted them here in America. Nobody took trees from Asia. Because if you look up cypress trees right now, I say Asia, they got to change all that. Because they never give America credit when it comes to trees due to the plantocracy and the late 1800s reconstruction, where they were taking plants, splicing them in Asia. Asia still splice stuff now. They'll knock off any product still to this day. They were splicing trees, and then when you read where this tree indigenous from, it says Asia. But now they got to change all that because now Alabama has the oldest cypress trees that weren't grown somewhere else and planted on a global scale. Alabama is now Mother. There's no tree more important than a cypress tree. Why is that? I remember when I did that Hellenistic video and I was doing this investigation down there on the Emerald Coast. This is the Emerald Coast. It's Mobile, Alabama area. Okay? And I was in Fort Walton Beach area. This is, a hop and a skip from Fort Walton Beach. Probably a 30-minute drive or so. Maybe a little bit more or less. And I was talking about Esther, and I was like, man, this is some real biblical stuff down there. Do anybody know? Or when your Jesus was hung high and stretched wide, the crown on his head, do anybody know what the crown was made of? Do anybody want to, could y'all go to church and pray? I've been stopped going to church. But for those of you who, when Jesus was hung high and stretched wide, the crown on his head was made from cypress. Now, was it Alabama cypress? Because this the oldest, that's at 70,000 years, that has not moved. I just wanted to tell y'all the importance of that, since cypress is one of the most expensive trees due to the essential oil that's extracted out and its healing capabilities. Now we got to rewrite history just based on the Emerald Coast in Alabama. Not to mention, when I was doing an investigation down at Fort Walton, there's a base down there with a site that has these indestructible structures that no one's talking about down there in the Defuniak Springs area. Yeah, that secret military base down there that got all these structures where they was testing bombs at during the atomic era. Don't make me go there because the airfield was stolen from a Negro family. Okay, let's move on. We're talking about our commodities here. Okay? We're talking about our commodities. You may think um, commodities is a topic that shouldn't even be discussed, but you hear a reparations conversation going on currently, and to be honest, it's what I show you tonight. It gets deep. It gets deep. I'll be pointing out a few places that you are definitely familiar with. Um, you'll definitely be familiar with. Let's say that. Okay, so let's start here. During World War One and World War Two era, I know I talk a lot about the Civil War. Um, it's because I wanted y'all to know about the Civil War. The Civil War era will make you mad. The World War One and World War Two era will make you furious. If you've been following my broadcast, you probably heard me say during World War One and World War Two, this era that followed Reconstruction, a lot of countries were coming over here, stealing artifacts, stealing names, stealing all kinds of stuff. You probably heard me say that the Nazis were also occupying America. Let me show you a little bit of proof tonight and show you how your people tie into this equation. So every time you see a war happening, you better make sure you're not a part of it. Now, maybe I'll start here. You probably heard me bring up the CCC in a broadcast when I was talking about Native Americans and how they came over here in the 1900s and were militarized via the CCC. Now, I'm going to read an excerpt from this government website, and I know a lot of you have never heard of this government website. Here's a new site, okay? This is called African Americans and the New Deal Civil Conservation Corps. Now, if you're on Facebook, you cannot see my screen. Perhaps y'all can come over to YouTube so that you can see the stuff that I'm about to put on the screen, so that you'll get a full picture. So I'll let Facebook run, but y'all keep in mind you cannot see my screen, so you don't see what the people on YouTube see. All right. Okay. So I'm going to read an excerpt from this. All right. The New Deal marked an important shift in the American electoral landscape as significant numbers of African Americans gave their vote to Franklin D. Roosevelt. The CCC was pitched to Negro landowners. At the time, there were over 920,000 Negro farm owners. I'm not talking acres here. I'm talking Negroes who owned farms. Over 920,000. That's almost a million. These people made up a block called the Electoral College. This block of people elected a president who pitched something to them that was something totally different on the backside. He pitched this conservation corps. This was a military operation. Out of the millions of people that were involved in the CCC, only 10% were Negro men. Why is the CCC so important? Do you remember during the civil rights movements during the 50s, the late 40s and the 50s and the 60s, the whites only signs? These whites only signs were on military bases. Now, I talked to y'all, some of you people on YouTube, you already knew about the CCC because I told you about it quite a few months ago. So you've had time to dig through some of these CCC files. On those military bases, because the military was segregated during World War I and World War II, the black Negro CCC workers could not work with everybody else. It just so happened these Negroes were landowners or descendants of landowners or in the family of people who own land, and they just wanted another job because the CCC was pitched to them as a preservation. Okay? It's a preservation effort. So with there being such a large amount, the largest amount of farm owners in America were Negroes. Okay? Now, with them owning farms, they also owned a banking system. Please follow me. That went with these farms. Okay? When you think of farms, don't just think of cotton. It was not over 920,000 Negro farmers in America. Millions of acres stretched between these men and women. They weren't just farming cotton and potatoes. They were farming also gold and mica and silver and oil. So there were oil farms. There were gold farms. I'm not just talking about the mines. These people were controlling the commodities still up until FDR. These people on their own motherland, cypress trees down in Bama, the oldest ecosystem of cypress trees on the globe, just discovered 2021. Got to rewrite the books just on that alone, because in the Greek culture with all these Greek gods and this stuff that we've been reading about, the only tree that they really liked was cypress. All their little crowns was made of cypress. They all talked about the luxury of cypress. These Negro farmers, over 920,000 of them, had this on their land. And yes, this bill probably will never pass because it's on heirs property, even in Alabama. I pulled the files. It's heirs property in that area. CCC, this 10% of Negro men, out of the 10% of Negro men that were part of this conservation corps, 95% of them were murdered inside of the conservation corps because they didn't know what was about to hit them. They thought this was an effort by the government that they elected to preserve their millions of acres. Lo and behold, something different was happening. Okay? What you're seeing on your screen, you don't see it on Facebook, but you go on my YouTube channel, Unpack, so you can see this. I'm about to make something very clear, and then I'm gonna come back and read some of the comments. I'm just flowing now. Y'all, somebody text me if the sound or anything goes out. What you're seeing on your screen is an Franklin Roosevelt implemented this Lend-Lease program. Okay? You see United States in the middle. You see all these lines going to other countries. This is during the World War II era. 920,000 farmers' land was pillaged. I hope that's big enough for y'all to see it. I hope that's big enough for y'all to see it. I hope that's big enough. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Cause we going somewhere tonight. Great Britain. Lend-Lease program. This reparations conversation is deeper than we know. This is why they can't figure out. We need a study. You know what's going on. Look how much money Great Britain, 31 million. Iceland, 4 million. Norway, 47 million. Russia, 10 million. Yugoslavia, 32 million. Turkey, 43 million. Iran, 5 million. Iraq, 1 million. Saudi Arabia, 19 million. French West Africa, the motherland, 2 million. Abyssinian, because I don't think they had caught on to the whole Egypt thing yet, because they needed the money to build it. Okay. Abyssinian, 5 million. Liberia, 12 million. The Congo, 159 million. I guess that 159 million includes Kenya, Rhodesia, South Africa, and Southwest Africa. Keep in mind, Nigeria and Ghana and places like that weren't even created at this point. Nigeria was what, 1950 something, or Ghana was 1950 something, and Nigeria was 1960 something, or vice versa. Either way, I don't really keep up with them, but they are new areas of Africa that was created using the money, the resources, the trees, the plants, the seeds of over 920,000 Negro farmers, Negro commodity owners in America, indigenous. I'm sorry, I didn't finish. Central and South America even got a piece. 501 million. New Zealand got a piece. Australia got a piece. China, 1,627,000,000. Japan got a piece. I want y'all to screenshot this. Screenshot it. For when people say you from somewhere else. How, Sway? This was my uncle land. My granddaddy and grandmama land. My cousin them land. They furnished the world with their trees and their crops and their precious metals. Totaling by the end of 1944, $28 billion had been given to the world from one group of Negroes in America. These are government files. Agriculture products, 3.6 billion. That includes seeds, trees, food, stuffs. Okay. Ammunition, totaling 15 a billion. Services, 3.4 billion. Those services include our indigenous Negro military workers who were segregated from white people. So they didn't know what these white people was doing. Because they was in segregated regiments. They were just given a task to do. Sort of like we are today. If you're working 9 to 5, you're given a task to do, especially if you work for the government. You get a task from the higher ups. You just do what you're told to do. Get your check. Okay? Industrial material, 6 billion. This industrial material includes your precious metals, including your gold. That's a precious metal. This was the only place that had those metals. And also, don't forget, oil is included in industrial material. Go look at the files. Oil sent to Russia, China, Africa, and Europe. Now, during this era, please click like on this video and share it, because videos like this get blocked. I went and pulled some files. And I know all about war. Okay. I knew in 2020 that the COVID uh, virus would lead to a bigger war, because they did the same thing in 1920. They did the same thing in the 1820, leading up to the Civil War. Same thing in 1920, leading up to World War I and World War II. And they're trying to pull the same thing in 2020. That's why pundits did their little financial charts and said Negroes will be extinct by 2050. Do you all remember me pointing that out? See, thing is, during the 1900s, they had Jesus. They put their swords down, some of them, and they stopped studying war. So they didn't know World War I and World War II was about them. They didn't know the Tuskegee. Let's say their full name, the Tuskegee Army Airmen. They were a brigade of army, a branch of the army. They weren't just out there by themselves. They were a branch of the army, a segregated branch. Thousands of Negro pilots. They didn't know. They were practicing dropping bombs down there in the Funiac Springs, down there in Florida, during the atomic era. They didn't know. They were just giving orders. They didn't know. They were in their military camps and they were lined up and they were experimented on. They didn't know. They thought it's for their greater good. Just like people didn't know in 2020, they just lined up and put their arm out and got a shot. They didn't know. They thought it was for the greater good. But you didn't put two and two together that they said you'd be extinct by 2050. Why would they give you something that can cure you? They know you're not going to do this 100-year count. They know you're not going to look at history or even stomach it enough to listen to it because you got better things to do. You're distracted. You'd rather watch a slap happen. You like social media. You don't like history because you don't believe it's happening to you until it's too late. And over 900,000 farmers are now at war. Now, what you see on my screen is Maggie L. Walker. Well, the real Walker family, please stand up. Miss Maggie L. Walker was one of the first Negro bankers in America. She had the St. Luke Savings Bank, 1917. Okay, there were banks that came before her, but they were started by Negro men. This was a Negro woman. Plenty locations, plenty staff members, all Negro, because they didn't trust the white banking system. Okay, they had their own banking system. This America, they were the electors. See, they had their own banking system, had their own everything, right? This is one of their Freemasonry structures here. The St. Luke headquarters building. This ain't no mom and pop shop I'm talking. This big money I'm talking. These are the heirs of oil and gold. See, during the Tulsa era, our people were storing their oil down in Haiti and other places that they had been going back and forth forever, for eons. Okay? So when the men saw something coming, they would store. They would start storing their stuff in the islands. These were their storage facilities. See. So while our men started storing their oil, because they were the oil tycoons, they were the richest in the world. They were the oil tycoons of the world in Oklahoma. Negro men. I'm just talking history here. Just talking history. I'm debriefing you all about war. St. Luke headquarters, okay? You know, Oklahoma for oil, richest in the world. Turn your attention to Durham, North Carolina. Mechanics and Farmers Bank. The Mechanics and Farmers Bank, North Carolina's oldest African, I hate that, oldest Negro American owned bank, was established in 1908 in Durham under the auspice of Carolina Mutual and Providence Association, renamed the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company. Put a pin in that. Mutual Life Insurance Company. These Negroes weren't no dumb Negro sharecropper slaves. It was something else. These people, the reason why Durham was considered a black Wall Street that was equal to Oklahoma, Tulsa. Although Tulsa had oil, these Negroes here had gold. They were the farmers' bank. The gold farmers, the silver farmers, the titanium farmers, the copper farmers. It's one of the banks that they stored their stuff in. These men were brilliant. Over 4,000 plus banks just Negro owned here in America during World War I and World War II era. Talk about reparations. It's deeper than what you think. The Binga Bank, Chicago, Illinois. Negro after Negro. Now, we talking about World War I and World War II, so you cannot forget Hitler. See, this was they said this was Hitler's war, but looked like FDR's Hitler. He looking more like Hitler to me because in around 1933 ish, FDR put a bill in place that dismantled the banking system in America. Then the FDIC was created. And out of the 4,000 plus Negro banks in America, less than 50 of them qualified to be under the new banking system. He was seizing properties that banks sat on. Now, there's another story out that said FDR closed these banks, these Negro-owned banks, because the banks refused to seize property from Negroes who held money in their banks. The government wanted the banks, our banks, to seize properties who was late paying their mortgage. And Binga and Walker and the men in Tulsa and the men in Durham and all these banking systems that were Negro owned, they refused. So Uncle Sam closed their banks, started the FDIC. And to this day, we don't know what happened to that money that was in those banks. Or do we? Let's look at this. I hope y'all can hear this. Let me know if y'all can hear this. Let me know if y'all can hear that. Let me know if y'all can. Is there sound? Can y'all hear it? Let me know if y'all can hear that. I don't think y'all can hear it. Let me see. Can't hear. Okay. Okay, let me see. Y'all can't hear it. All right, hold on.
Switzerland has always been neutral in every single circumstance, which has led to a very diverse range of clientele. They banked for the Nazis in World War II, hiding the gold they stole from the Jews. Hitler had a personal bank account there to receive royalties for his book Mein Kampf. Switzerland has always been neutral in every single circumstance, which has led to a very diverse range of clientele. They banked for the Nazis in World War II, hiding the gold they stole from the Jews. Hitler had a personal bank account there to receive royalties for his book Mein Kampf.
Who did Hitler call the Jews? Would anybody like to riddle me this? You know who Hitler called the Jews. Negro Americans, black people, niggers, nagas, African Americans. Switzerland, hidden in Switzerland, stole the gold. It looked like the Negro electors used their power to elect FDR. The whole time FDR was the real Nazi. Now look at this. Look at this. Because I asked the question. Were Negroes a part of the Holocaust? I don't know if I got an answer or not, but I sure asked the question. Were Negroes in America a part of a Holocaust? Let me take your attention. Let me take your attention back to the government website. Just a little bit. HR Bill 2493, Holocaust Insurance Accountability Act of 2021. See, our ancestors needed this bill, but because the files were classified, you had generations of people who didn't even know about the banks. Mind you, the bank files are at the courthouse of all of the banks who were fraudulently closed by President Roosevelt. Let's read this bill. Holocaust Insurance Act of 2021, HR 2493. This bill allows a beneficiary or an heir of a beneficiary of certain insurance policies in effect during the Holocaust to sue the U.S. District Court to enforce rights under such policies. This bill allows heirs to sue the U.S. District Courts to enforce rights under such policies. An insurance policy covered under this bill must have been one in effect at the time between January 31st, 1933 and December 31st, 1945. Issued to a policyholder domiciled in Nazi-controlled territory or Switzerland. I'm not playing no games. You think it's a game? It might be a little bit blurry, but go read it. HR 2493. An insurance policy covered under this bill must have been in effect at any time between January 31st, 1933 and December 31st, 1945, and issued to a policy domiciled in Nazi-controlled territory or Switzerland. A court shall award to a prevailing beneficiary the amount due under the policy. A prejudgment interest of 6% a year, attorney's fees and court costs, and treble damages if the insurer acted in bad faith. An action under this bill or state law related to the covered insurance policies shall be considered timely if filed within 10 years of this bill. Judgments and agreements entered before this bill enactment shall not preclude a claim brought under this bill with certain expectations. Neither executive agreements between the United States and a foreign government nor United States executive foreign policy shall affect or preclude claims brought under this bill. I don't care what Switzerland say. When this bill goes into effect, this bill is the new president, lord of the land, if you will. Affect or precludes claims brought under this bill or supersede or preempt any state laws relating to insurance policies covered by this bill. Now, when you go back and look at all these Negro banks, thousands of them, FDR closed them in 1933. Force closed. Now, we also read 2 or 3 shows back. I don't remember. 2 or 3 shows back. I think Jalen sent it to me. On their necks, exactly. Can y'all hear me? Charlene says she can't hear me. I think they can. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can't hear me. Hold on. Hold on. Mic is all the way up. There's no sound. My mic is on. They said they can't hear. Can't hear. I can hear. They can hear. It's back. Okay, back on. All right. 2 or 3 shows ago, I think that was Jalen. We read what the Negro fate during the World Wars. You remember the fate of the Negro American during World Wars. I want y'all to keep this in mind. The fate. You remember all those deaths that they said was the Negro fate during World War One and World War Two? All those deaths, experimentation. Wow, Nick. That's crazy. All those deaths, experimentations. And there's a group of Masons who died. They said an undisclosed amount of Masons were murdered. Now, if you're a Mason on here, I'm about to say something. Okay? I've mentioned the Masons a few times. I mentioned that they was running like a protection force over the community where they could organize really quickly. Men in the community if something were to pop off. Those Masons was killed off, a lot of them, that were these leaders in these communities. that were organizing the Negro military men. A lot of them was killed off in that paragraph that we read during World War II. After they were killed off, another group of Masons were formed called the International Masons, either in the uh, somewhere around the 1960s. Somebody give me the date. Google it and give me the date. Another group of Masons called the International Masons. Same literature, same everything, but they weren't bloodline. See, this group of Masons that were killed during this Nazi regime, and as Jalen sent me the documents, their temples all over America were destroyed. They were murdered. Temples destroyed. Were there gold in those temples? Did the Masons also have a banking system? You Masons, you PHA Masons, y'all figure this out. Because some of you have the bloodline of the men who were killed. Some of you have the bloodline of the men who were organizing, protecting the community. And that protection stopped. You haven't been protected since 1960 era. You haven't been protected since. Now, could it be some bloodline Masons in this international Masonic group that's currently running today still? Of course, because it's the same literature. If you don't know the history of America, I'm not just saying the history of Masonry. If you don't know the history of America as a whole, then you won't be able to put two and two together. See that Walker Bank that I showed you, that St. Luke's Bank? The Masons built that bank. Did the Masons have a banking system? You haven't been protected since. These Masons, these international Masons, we don't know them. What we do know, the PHA, they only operated in America. They only operated with American Negroes. And then there's something they say they don't know where Prince Hall was born. They don't know who this guy is, and it's a mystery behind him. But his daddy name was Thomas Prince Hall. Now, I highly doubt if his daddy name was Thomas and Prince was his middle name. He probably was Prince Thomas Hall. Would a real Hall family please stand up? Because at this point, I need somebody to figure out. We need to put these organizations together and see what happened. Because there's some bills coming down the pipeline. This reparation is it's bigger than you think. It's deeper than you think. Was that the Prince Hall that was some kin to King Louis? Because it say he indigenous to America. Was that the same Prince Hall? Or were those the royals still here in the top of the 1800s? I think Prince Hall died in the top of the 1800s. So that means his daddy probably possibly died in the 1700s. Was those the group of Negro royals who was being murdered during those Indian wars? Well, y'all only talk about Tomachichi and Tuscaloosa and them. You never talk about the kings and the prince and the dukes. But they were definitely here. They were definitely here. Anyway, it's not called the boule. That's different. That's different. Did you hear me what I just said? This group of Masons that were murdered during World War I and World War II, they protected your structures and your cities because they organized the military men who were segregated, although working in the United States military. Now, why would let's just break this shit down, because I ain't no boogeyman shit with me. Because I ask anybody anything about anything. I don't care what organization they're a part of. Why would the United States government allow Negroes to run separately as a militia group, as a military regime outside of them? These men were segregated. from the United States. How were they able to run? They were able to run because they was heirs to this land. This was their land at the end of the day. The last time they were electors was during the FDR era. The marching that was going on in the 50s and the 60s, they was marching to get the electoral college back. Because if you keep taking their land, then you take their votes. You take their land, you take their votes. Over 920,000 farmers of all kind of commodities. Boule is way different. The Boule is an international sector of 5,000 men. FDR would have been Boule. Uh, uh, um, Nazi Adolf Hitler would have been Boule. These men have nothing to do with Boule. These goofy black men who are a part of Boule today, I guarantee you they don't know this part of history. They just powerful or with talent. And when people have an extreme amount of talent or power, these Boule people pull those men in and make them a part of that. I'm talking 920,000 Negro farmers of commodities. I ain't talking Boule. This is a different type of power. I'm talking real power here. I'm talking real power. Let me see, can I pull something up real quick? Um, Moral of the story is your sound is off. Audio keep going out. Can't hear no sound. Your mic gone again. Can y'all hear me? Hear me? It ain't my mic. My mic is on. Right. The Boule must have cut me off. God damn. Damn. You can't even say. Exactly. The goddamn Boule. Did the Boule cut me off? My goodness. Shit. Damn, Boule. Let me talk. They don't want me to break this shit down so real men and women can understand. Cause see, I have military men on here, and a lot of military men in my family that don't dig this deep into history. They wasn't debriefed about this. They were not debriefed about this. They didn't know they were being murdered like that. Who was gonna tell them? They didn't know the Masons was working right with them because the Masons was building the buildings for the Negroes who needed banks. And then they was murdered off, and then an international group came in of Masons. And what we see today, running all these plays and so forth and so on, is an international group. It's two different groups. Please, Masons, take up for yourselves. Let these people know it's two different groups of y'all. And some of y'all are bloodline and some of these people ain't. It's not. Some of these people full African, some of these people full European, full Russian. Russian been running military operations out of Africa forever. They still running military operations out of Africa to this day. I dare you to look it up. The Russia running Wagner out of Africa. That's one of my favorite composers too. Me and Hitler got something in common. Wagner is one of my favorite composers too. Lo and behold, Wagner is a whole militia group. They'll off you. Wagner is in Africa and Russia. Lo and behold, some of those Africans ended up in Ukraine going live on Facebook talking about we stuck in fucking Ukraine. Yeah, you're a Wagner worker. The fuck is you doing in Ukraine? Tell the people the truth. You're a part. You're a part of. I'm here to tell my people the truth. I'm here to let you all know what's going on. While these little Africans is running plays online, some of them trying to pretend like they you, some of them trying to get your sympathy. See, you're supposed to be extinct in 2050. And that's extinction by any means necessary. If you don't fight back. If you don't fight back, you become extinct. Now, I have some good news. I have been all week making phone calls. I did talk to someone from the U.S. Forestry, National Forestry Service. It was so hard to get somebody on the phone. I had to call my local USDA office and then ask them for numbers, and then they forwarded me to a number. No number there. I called them back to say, can y'all give me an email or something? And I found the email, sent a blind email. And that person responded back to me with the phone number. I talked to a person on the phone from the Forestry Services for, felt like forever, but it's a sister out of South Carolina. She is a veteran, former military Marine. And she and her family own heirs property in South Carolina. She said they never lost their heirs property. They've been unscathed, but all of them are military. She said her whole family is military. And they had their property, been on their property since, as far as she can date back, about around 1830 or even further than that. But never lost their property. She works for the National Forest Services, and they partner with USDA and a myriad of other programs. I let her know that I had a database of, first of all, I let her know who I was, and let her know that I was an heir too, and I was indigenous, and I do a lot of research, blah, 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 historian. And I told her that I actually teach people who have heirs property, and I help people locate heirs property via land patents. Told her we were building a genealogy website. Just loaded her down because I need help, and I don't want people to find me. Because seems like every time somebody find me, it be some kind of y'all know what happened with the YouTubers. I don't want that to happen to me no more. So I go out and find who need to be found, and do it that way. Okay. So lo and behold, once I told her that I had a database of people who had heirs property, she let me know a whole lot of stuff that I'm still unpacking. One of the things that she let me know was that there is a program. Once you know that it's your heirs property, you can become a lender. Okay? There is money stored up for you to become a lender. This is not no grant program where you apply for grants and you send back, wait, this ain't that, that ain't this. I got direct contact with the lady. The lady helping me with the genealogy site, giving me and the developers stuff to do. Whole 9 yards. We up by 1,000 points, is what I'm trying to say. So now when we do genealogy, we can give people directly what they need. Yeah, the USDA, they do grants, they do loans. But this lady, who was shocked that I had a database of people who have heirs property, she is a lender. She said if you have heirs property, you can become a lender. That means if anybody on your family want to build any kind of structures or anything, any kind of farm, any kind of new equipment, whatever you need, any kind of mining work that needs to be done, you can lend them the money because now you have access to your money. Up by 1,000 points. Anybody who is my genealogy client, it's over 100 of y'all now. As we crank out, as we do your work, I can send you directly over. Because, see, we don't have to sit back and keep begging nobody for nothing. The fight for reparations shouldn't be no long, drawn out thing for us when it was over 920,000 Negro farmers. These resources, these bills that's on the books, you wouldn't even look at them. Because you don't know what the land patent is, you don't know what the area is, you ain't even looking at this sector. But a lot of these, we got our eyes on the land. This young lady told me that even, she said the current farmers, she said most of the current farmers who are black are foreign. They're not even heirs. So this money that's stored, they can't even access it. Because you got to prove that you're an heir. The real heirs of gold and oil. You got to prove that you're an heir in order to become a lender. Now, we want to talk about the trust accounts and all this stuff. Prove that you are an heir and you become a lender. This young lady said they own a forest in South Carolina. And the only thing her and her family worry about is lumber prices. That's all they don't got no worries. She own a forest. Her sector of the government that she works for is the forest sector. So they find heirs who they look at the heirs property that's forest land. Somebody asked me about Bankhead The Bankhead family. Did I know anything about the Bankhead family on one show? And I said, yeah, I know about the Bankhead family. And I pulled up the Bankhead National Forest. Yeah, I remember some of y'all remember. Some of y'all remember when I pulled up the Bankhead National Forest. I said, this probably your land right here. It's in Tuscaloosa territory up in North Alabama. I said, yeah, look at the Bankhead National Forest. Shit, that's probably yours. That's what I know about the Bankhead family, Bankhead National Forest. Lo and behold, it's a whole sector of the government that make that Bankhead family. I don't know if that young man still on here. It's a whole sector of the government that make him a lender. Gives him the money in that from that area that's been stored up for his family the whole time. And we sitting here calling ourselves African, wearing dashikis and stuff. I was this week years old when I went on this hunt. Relentless. I'm not finna sit on, I told y'all a long time ago, months ago, I'm not finna sit on YouTube for another year and talk about what we need to do, what we need to do, what we need to do. I said, we're gonna be building cities. Maybe that was the ancestors speaking through me. Because everything I'm saying is coming to fruition. Last but not least, I was tagged in that reparations conversation that's being held in California right now. The some reparations committee in California just announced that in order to get reparations, a person must prove that the reparations is only for Negroes in America, basically. Negroes who were enslaved in America, basically. That's great. But I want y'all to understand something. The pressure that's coming out of California has nothing to do with us jaw-japping online. No. It has nothing to do with us talking online. One of my highest followers is in California. Majority of my Hello Plants products are sold to California, shipped to California. California people been on top of this since the Bruce family. They ain't stopped. They are more relentless than we are here on the East Coast because we're a little bit more comfortable on the East Coast. See, we've been knew about heirs property to the point where we're comfortable. Although we need the same thing they need, we're a little bit, I do it tomorrow. It's different with them. They gonna get it. Them people going in the courthouse. The legislators in California know what's going on. The Bureau of Land Management see all those land patents being printed out from California. These people not crazy. You know you got to move your ass when Negroes in America start getting the land back because they found the titles. When you start reading about these missing heirs cases and start reading about heirs property, please keep this number in mind. 920 plus thousand Negro farmers. That's almost a million niggas with farmland. That's almost a million niggas with farmland. You know how many acres they probably had a piece? On the low end, they had 160 acres. If you're dealing with these big time families like Bankhead Forest, you probably had 10,000 or more. So yeah, I'm gonna move your ad. How these niggas found the titles? When you read these cases of heirs property, they read this ancestor bought this land as coming out of slavery. He or she did not leave a will. That's why this is now heirs property. Please note that that's not the whole story. That's not the whole entire story. Because if Granddaddy, grandmama, auntie, great granddaddy and them didn't leave a will. How do you know who I am? He ain't leave not one name. How do you know who I am? There are services out there, guys, that just find heirs. They find and locate heirs. And I also talked to this young lady. When I talked to this young lady, I told her it's funny that there's so many government services and universities that study and find heirs, but they forget to send out essential marketing material or any kind of material to these heirs, telling them, hey, this is your land. Hey, this program we have, it's just for you. Hey, we located your cousins, because y'all damn sure locate us. People in California is moving. The people over there are moving. They see the Bruce family got a whole city by it. They want what's theirs too. It's all heirs' property. Now, when you see those cases, the reason why they were able to find those heirs so quickly and so swiftly, although that ancestor didn't leave not one name, is because of vital statistics. See, the whole time they knew what the titles were to these land masses, to these gold mines and oil fields and airfields and mica fields and copper fields. So what they do is they go and see who the name is on the land patent. When these people applied for these patents, they submitted their family name, their immediate family, their wife and their children was on these applications. So what these people in the government do, they do a reverse search. They go to that name and then they go into the vital statistics. They look at who the death records, birth records. That's how they do our genealogy charts. See, we do it a different way. We do it from our parents on back. They do it from the titles on down. And they do it this sneakingly way. Because you don't supposed to know what the titles are. You supposed to know about deeds and stuff, mortgages and stuff. But the reason they know this is heirs property, although that man didn't leave no name, because it wasn't no deed or no mortgage on this property. That means it's a title to this property. Now let me go to the title, because the people who live here, they don't know what a title is. Let me go to the title. They don't teach about titles in real estate school. Brokers don't know about titles. It takes a person like me to come teach it. Then they look into it. See, because this shakes the whole foundation of real estate, period. What's happening in California with all them Negroes now looking at those land patents, that shakes foundation. So yeah, you're going to move your ass. You better. Because you fuck around and blank. And it'll be 920 more thousand Negroes with farmland all over again. That's all I got to say. I hope y'all enjoyed part 2 this land patent war. You're always at war. During World War I and World War II, 920 plus thousand Negro landowners was at war and didn't even know it. You think we in that war right now with this COVID shit? Who did they say? Why was this story of Bill Gates being the largest landowner in America plastered all in our face during this COVID junk? Why? These stories don't go together, do they? Yeah, I remember seeing all these articles of Bill Gates plastered all over our goddamn social media talking about he's now Now that so many Negroes have died in hospitals via ventilators and vaccines. Now Bill Gates. If our military men who are currently active do not understand what I'm saying, please fact check me. If you're a Negro in the military, you're desegregated now. But please fact check what I'm saying and move accordingly. It was 920 some thousand people just like you. Murdered brutally. Those 10% of men that was in the CCC tortured. I have files of intentional drowning. They're public. They're declassified. You're still in a war if you don't fight back. It'll behoove y'all to protect us. While we move. If you are an active military man or woman, don't leave us out here. I gotta go. I love y'all. I might do another show tomorrow. Or I might wait till Tuesday for part 3 because there's a lot I left out. And I gave y'all a lot of information in a small amount of time. I know. But I wanted to give y'all enough information so you can share with your families. If you're in Alabama, y'all up by 1,000. If you're from Alabama, y'all up by 1,000. So don't let them bring that Clotilda story back. It's pointless. I want to hear nothing about Clotilda. You can tuck that little story in your pocket. You tuck it in your pocket. Anyway, Mary said, look, I got so oily, y'all. Why y'all tell me I'm oily like that? I got so oily. Let me get off here. I guess this is why we can't access the states like North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Kentucky. Yes, this is why we don't have access to a lot of states. The reason why is because of the forestry. See, it's some places in Georgia. The trees are so old. In the Appalachia, it's trees that they don't even know the name of the trees yet, y'all. Do you hear me what I say? The Peckerwood just got over here. They don't even know the names of some trees in Georgia. The Altamaha River has fish and wildlife. They don't even know the names of some of the fish. This your stuff. You supposed to know the names. This South Carolina family, this military family in South Carolina, just so happen they military. They Negroes. They're regular Negroes like you and I. They manage millions in assets. Trees. Trees. They allow people to come and cut their lumber down. And then They grow their lumber back. Get paid. They keep Home Depot and Lowe's and all these people. They're the reason why you can buy plywood. Y'all might want to look at the price of a 2x4 right now. You might want to look at the current price of a 2x4. Look at the current price of wood and get on top of this. Cause boy, it's a free for all right now, but boy, that's about to come to a screeching halt. Especially with them people over in California. Them Negroes in California playing not nil game. Multiple of them. I know if I'm gonna start reading comments, I'm gonna be on here another hour. And it's already 1 hour and 41 minutes. Y'all, please share this, screenshot clips, do whatever you want to do, get this to your family. This should go viral. If this don't go viral, nothing will. This the reparations conversation everybody wish they can have, but the ethers are the spirits, the ancestors, just not giving them the message. Yeah, I love y'all. I'm finna read these comments, but I'm finna close.